Yo, what's up, guys? Earl DFS coming back with another DFS video, and today we're gonna be breaking down today's 10-game NHL slate. But first, let's start with last night's slate. Once again, I played the minimax. I'm gonna be playing the minimax basically every day. The winner had uh, Leon partnered with Gagner and Neal for Edmonton 2, and then Colorado 1. With McKinney, Burakovsky, and Ratandin, Cole, and then they put the Edmonton goalie, which had 42 saves, had more points than the winning goalie for Colorado. So this was my best lineup. It took home $15. I finished in 8th, 27th, 49th, 70th. So another decent night, another profitable night for me here. I had Leon. I don't think I partnered with anyone. No. And I had McKinnon with Burakovsky and Ratandin, Gusev. Then I had value here at the defenseman with Ratandin and Dunn. I had the Colorado goalie, and then Ian Cole, which got me 26 points last night, which was nice. He was only 7.4% owned. Cool. Like, I had him on a bunch of lineups, which is really, really nice. So all these. Clefbaum was a bust there. Blackwood, he was my top owned goalie, 20.7. At his price tag, fine. But I took him 8th. I profited, let's see, 112.25 minus 75, so 37.25. It's a profitable night. Profit is profit, so I will definitely take it. But let's hop right into today's slate. We have no time to waste. We have 10 games to go over today, much better than last night's 3-game slate. So let's hop right into this. First game, Philadelphia Flyers hosting the Buffalo Sabres. Ullmark versus Hart. Hart had an amazing game last time he was out there. Had the 35 save bonus, got the win. But on the other hand, now we have this guy right here. Probably one of my favorite plays of the day, Jack Eichel. He's been playing amazing. His price tag actually went, it looks like, down $300 from when he played Toronto. And he scored a goal in that game, scored 21 points. I like this whole Buffalo 1 line. They correlate with the power play. And if you want, you can partner him up with Dahlin here. But this is going to be one of my top exposed stacks of the day with Eichel, Reinhart, and Olofsson. And Eichel will probably be one of my highest exposed players today. At only 7.8, he went down $200, which is actually kind of nice, or $300. So definitely, this is definitely a line to look after. Buffalo 2, not really looking at any of these. A nice nice little one-off here. Kyle Okposo, he scored a goal last game against the Maple Leafs. He's been playing really well lately at only 2.6. Could be a nice little budget play if you so please. On the other hand, Philadelphia 1. They're a decent play. Cordier, Griox, and Konecny here. Not really looking at much from Philadelphia. I like Provorov. I'm still learning to pronounce them. Please bear with me here. I'm still learning how to pronounce these names. But I like him as a nice little defenseman. He's been playing really well lately. He's been one of the highest scorers on this Philadelphia team. 3.24. I like if you're going to be fading Buffalo here, I like Carter Hart. He's a favored goalie at home. So with a decently with a mid-range over-under. So 7,600, Carter Hart, I think he'll be one of my highest exposed goalies for lineups that do not have this combination right here of Reinhart, Eichel, and Olofsson. Next game, we have the LA Kings and the Columbus Blue Jackets. 2.97 for the Jackets, 2.51 for the Kings. Jonathan Quick in net for the Kings, and Korpazilo for the Blue Jackets. This Kings line one, it correlates and it's cheaper, so it's not a terrible play. I don't think I'll be getting to much of them at all today. And this, I am just not a fan of this Kings team. Doughty could be a decent mid-range defender, but I kind of like the Blue Jackets side of this game a little bit better. I like Columbus 1. I don't know if I'll get much exposure to them, but if I had to pick a line in this one, it is them. And Korpazilo is a nice goalie. I think 7.6. He is $100 more expensive than Hart, but lower implied total, lower over under, and bigger fit, or just as much of a favorite as the Flyers. So I am a fan of Jonas when it comes to a goalie here. He'll be probably another one of my higher exposed goalies. Yeah, on to the next game here. Dallas Stars, 2.46 with Ben Bishop in goal. Tampa Bay Lightning, 3.04 implied total with Vasilevskiy in goal. I am a huge fan of Tampa Bay today. I like line 1 and I like line 2. I like line 1 better than line 2 though, but barely. Point Kucherov and Palat. I think they are a nice line here. If you want to get a little bit of correlation with the power play, you can do Point, Kucherov, and Stamkos. And if you want to add Killorn in there as well, Hedman is a great defender. He'll be one of my top exposed defenders today. I also like line 2 with Stamkos, Killorn, and Cirelli. These are a little bit more expensive for full line stacks, but I definitely do like those Tampa Bay 1 and Tampa Bay 2. Also, Dallas 1 is kind of interesting with Radulov, Seguin, and Ben. So they could be an interesting line as well. And if you want to partner them up with Pavelski and Hintz, and if you want to throw a defender in there. But I'm a much bigger fan of Tampa Bay. I'm not going to get to their goalie as much. He's a little expensive. I tend to want to go for the cheaper goalies, anywhere from 7.2 to 7.8, that are favorites at home. So Carter Hart and Jonas, those are my two favorite ones so far on the slate. I'm not going to get to him. He's 8.3. He's just too expensive. I'd rather spend that on building around my stacks rather than on a goalie where their fluctuations not too much. It's like a pitcher in baseball. Next, we have the New York Islanders, 3.23 or 2.32 implied total versus the Boston Bruins with a 3.18 total. Tuukka Rask in net for the Bruins. Thomas Greiss in the net for the Islanders. And the Islanders, they've been playing good this year, but I don't see any line stacks for them, especially against this Boston team. It's going to be a rough night for them. And this is coming from an Islanders fan. But I am seeing just a bunch of one-offs with Matthew Barzal. Wow, I can't speak. And Brock Nelson, I think, is one of the best one-offs of the night. If you want to run a little bit of a power play stack, you can do Brassard with Barzal and Nelson. Dobson, that's a cheap little defenseman there if you want to go there. He's also on the power play unit. So there's a little bit of correlation with that for $2,600. Not too bad. On the Boston side, I feel like you can never go wrong with Boston 1, which with Marchand, Bergeron, and Pastrnak. Thomas Greiss has been playing pretty well lately. I'm going to take a look at his stats real quick. Last game he got blown out of the water by Nashville. Gave up 5 goals, but before that, 24 points, 13-12. So he hasn't been playing great this year. So I wouldn't mind going after him with Boston 1. Boston 1 is probably going to be my top exposed line of the night. And they're all on power play 1, which is also nice. So if you want to partner that up with Krug, you absolutely can. Line 2 is not as interesting for me. It's just they're all on power play 2 as well, but I'm not going to value that. And they're just cheaper. That's about it for them. Oh, and I really like Pulock for a defenseman for the Islanders. He's been playing really well lately. 18 points, 16, 10, 15. So on to the next game. It is the Nashville Predators and the Ottawa Senators. 3.51 for the Predators, 2.99 for the Senators. Ryan in goal for Nashville, Anderson for Ottawa. And there's just not much I like from this game. Maybe a couple one-offs here and there, but I like Josie for defensive players here. For defender, he's been playing good lately. But not too much going on in this Nashville-Ottawa game. Tukachuk, Pageau, and Brown could be a good line stack if you wanted to go that way. I'm not really going to get to Ryan. He's a little pricey. So nothing really I want to get to in this game. This is kind of like but watch, the Predators will completely go off and I'll have none of them, and that'll be my night. Next game, though, is something I'm definitely want to go after. Blackhawks and the Winnipeg Jets. 2.78 for the Blackhawks, 3.72 for the Jets. Connor Hellebuck in goal for the Jets. Lehner for the Blackhawks. One of my favorite lines of the day is this Connor, Scheifele, and Lane line. It's going to be one of my top played lines of the day. So I would definitely run them. You can't. Not really looking at much for this Blackhawks team. They haven't really showed much at all as to a decent team. Patrick Kane, decent one-off. If you want to run Strome and Kane together, part of a 3-2-1, part of the 2, I guess that's fine. Defenseman, not really much I'm getting to in this game, and Hellebuck is way too expensive for my likings, $8,500, especially after he got lit up by the Hurricanes last night or 2 nights ago. So he's just too pricey for me to get to. I still like Jonas and Hart here, so just not much I'm going to get to in this game other than Winnipeg. Winnipeg 1, and if you want to, you can get to Winnipeg 2 as well. But Winnipeg 1 is definitely the top play of this one. They all correlate on the power play unit as well. Next, we have the Carolina Hurricanes taking on the Colorado Avalanche, which has actually turned into a very good game here. I am very interested in this one. Hurricanes on their last game of their Western road trip. They just got the nice win against Winnipeg 2 nights ago, 6-2. But now they're going up against Rantanen, McKinnon, and Burakovsky, which is one of my top-owned stacks of the night. But on the other hand, I like Carolina in this matchup. I'm not going to get to any of the goalies. I like the offensive much better here. Colorado 1 is my favorite line with Rantanen, McKinney, and Burakovsky. Line 2 for Colorado ain't bad either with Landeskog, Kadri, and Donskoy. But my favorite for the Hurricanes is actually the power play unit. I like Sebastian Aho with Tuo Teravainen and then partnering them up with Svechnikov. If you want to throw Stahl in there too, go for it. Dougie Hamilton is one of my favorite defenders of the night. He's really turned into one of the best defenders in the league. I also like, if you want to do a 3-2-1 part of the two, you can do Aho and Teravainen. You can throw Niederreiter in there. He's a nice cheap option, 3,800, but he hasn't been playing particularly well. But I definitely like this Carolina-Colorado game. I'll definitely be getting plenty of exposure to that tonight. That's a 9 o'clock game, so that's going to be a fun one to watch. Seeing Aho and Teravainen going up against McKinney and Rantanen should be fun. For defenders, I mentioned Dougie Hamilton, and then I like Ian Cole and Ryan Graves pairing the best. I had plenty of Ian Cole last night, and he was a huge hit for me, which is nice. So I'll probably be getting to a decent amount of them as well. Next game, we have the Calgary Flames and the Montreal Canadiens. 2.74 for the Canadiens, 3.26 for the Flames. Carey Price in net for the Canadiens. Rickett for the Flames. I am liking Montreal 1 here as a line stack with Donat, Tartar, and Gallagher. They all line up for the power play, and if you want to run it with a defenseman, Petrie is actually really nice. So that is my favorite from Montreal. And on the Flame side, not really much for stacks I want to get to. Tukachuk is fine as a one-off. Not really much I want to get to for the Flame side, even though they're a favorite team. I won't be getting much. I'll probably be getting like Doobie as a one-off. He's cheap, that's why. But nothing crazy from this team. As for goalies, if I really want to go for a cheap guy, Carey Price isn't bad. He played really well. I had around 50% of him 2 nights ago when he played super well against Vancouver. But this is a Flames team. Canadians are road underdogs, so I'm probably going to avoid Carey Price. David Rickett will probably be one of my goalies that are on my player pool to add, because he's 7,800, a home favorite to add to Jonas and Hart here, and we'll probably see a decent amount of shots from these Canadians. So I can definitely see Rickett here as one of my goalies. Next, we have the Minnesota Wild taking on the Arizona Coyotes. 2.46 for the Wild, 3.04 for the Coyotes. Darcy Kumper in goal for Arizona, and Dubnyk for Minnesota. And they kind of have a reverse stack here, or reverse lines here, with line 1 with Zuccarello, Stahl, and Zucker on power play 1, and then Praise, Donato, and Fiala in power play 2. Not much I'm getting to on the wild side. I'm not going too wild here. And Arizona, just another. This is a low implied total game, low amount of shots. If you want to run a stack from this game, I would pick the Coyotes line 1 with Vorak, Hall, and Kessel, all on power play 1 as well. If you want to run that Keller, cool. Ekman Larson can be a little bit of a budget, only at 3,900 for defenseman. But overall, not much I'm getting to in this game. And to end it off, we have the Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Vancouver Canucks. 3.21 for the Knights, 2.79 for Canucks. Fleury, definitely one of my top options here for goalie. Only 7,900. He's a favorite. He's a road favorite, but he's a favorite nonetheless. I like the Carlson, Smith, and Marchessault line. All the correlate with power play, and you can run it with Theodore down here. So that's probably my favorite stack for that one. And Markstrom, low implied total, not really, but 7,200. He'll probably be in my player pool for goalies. I probably will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in my player pool for goalies with Hart, Jonas, Ricketts, Fleury, and Markstrom. I like Vancouver 1 with Miller, Pettersson, and Brosher though. So I don't know but I'm not going to get too much of them. So I still like Fleury. They'll probably get a decent amount of shots. So hopefully that'll create some value there for Fleury. And he's a favorite, so hopefully he'll be able to get the win. But that's the slate right there. Let me guys know who you think is going to break the slate. Who's your favorite stack for today? My favorite stacks are, as always, Boston 1. Boston 1. Can't really go bad with Boston 1. Winnipeg 1. And then Buffalo 1. But that is going to do it for this video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.